Welcome to Subramani. I have addressed close to 10,000, if not more than 10,000 doctors on financial matters, right? So for across the country, right, from Guwahati, I have gone to Chandigarh, I have gone to Srinagar. No, I have not gone to Srinagar, sorry. I think the northernmost that I think I have done is Chandigarh. Guwahati, Trivandrum, Gujarat, Rajasthan, right? So I've been to all over the country, right? Obviously, Kanpur, Indore, Bhopal, and all. I don't have to tell you separately, but Middle India, East India, North India, West, South, every place I've covered, and I've come to some. Conclusions, readings. So I thought I should share it with you. One, if you're a doctor, start saving or stroke investing pretty early, right? When you're 22, 23, you start getting a stipend. Get into the habit of saving 500, 1000, whatever in equity funds, right? So make a start. If you don't know where to make a start with index funds. Then we can, as soon when you learn, you can go into big cap funds, large cap funds, etc. But start, make a beginning. That's very important. If you don't know, look for an advisor. If you don't need an advisor, go and invest directly. It's not a problem, right? It's not very difficult to invest in an index fund. You don't need an advisor, but just go, please make a start. Second, if you want to buy a real estate, buy your own place of work first. Buy your house at a later stage. There's no great hurry to buy a house, because you will be known as that doctor in that corner building, white building, green building, whatever, rather than from where you stay. It does not matter. You can change 4 houses by the time you decide which house to buy, but you don't want to change 4 clinics or dispensaries before you decide where to settle down, because goodwill gets attached to that place. As a doctor, don't have to buy only real estate, but unfortunately or fortunately, when I see doctors, their assets are largely real estate, gold, and bank fixed deposits, and of course great LIC policies, which would be endowment policies, not giving them enough cover, and that's where they invest. So please, most importantly, start learning about investment at a young age. I don't know why it should not be taught in schools, but I'm not getting into that debate. It is not being taught in schools, so you have to learn it yourself. Now that you're a doctor, start learning about where to invest. Even if you don't start investing early, not learning can be a much bigger crime, which will lead you to another one. Know how to borrow. In fact, don't borrow at all is what I would say, but people don't borrow out of choice. People largely borrow because they need to borrow. They don't have money for whatever reasons. For slightly older doctors, my advice would be, do not enter a business which you can't understand. I know doctors, in all these cases I know doctors. One doctor who bought a car, gave it to a guy to drive. That guy went and hit somebody on the road. That person died, did not get attended to, and then the driver ran away. Then this doctor went to the police station and spent a lot of time, effort, money, trying to solve the case. I think he spent more on that case than the cost of the car. So if you do not understand these risks, do not do it. I know one doctor who had given his house on rent, and it was given to a high profile executive. That high profile executive's maid servant, I mean nothing to do with the high profile executive, maid servant committed suicide in that house. It took a long time to get back that house from police investigation, etc. So right, so that's a headache. Recently, not too recently, you saw one hookah bar being burned down in some location, and that was partly owned by a doctor. The questions can be very difficult for you to handle with the police, and it will take time away from your career. I know one doctor who entered into an arrangement with a builder. It was a kind of a private limited company. That builder died. He had issued many checks. Those checks bounced. It took her a very long time to get back into real life action. Luckily, they had a lot of political contacts. Husband was also a super specialist, so therefore they got out of it. This is not easy. Don't enter a business that you don't understand. Many doctors listen to me and say, very good, you're correct, etc., and then go and buy real estate. I don't blame them. Not enough advisors are available, but try learning something on your own and try finding an advisor. I wrote this book, Wealth Prescription for Doctors, where I'm saying similar things. So if you can get a chance to buy and read this book, that will be very useful. It's not a very expensive book, 300, 400 bucks. It should be available on Amazon. Sorry for the plug, but I do think it will be useful for you to learn about investing by reading some of these material which is there. A lot of stuff is available online, so learn, understand that real estate is not doing well for you. Then you have to get rid of it, right? So first of all, learn how to calculate returns. Many people can't. They just don't know how to include the interest which they have paid while buying a place, and then arrive at the cost. Since they don't even understand this, we have a major problem, right? How will you tackle not getting educated? Find an advisor. You don't want to find an advisor, stick to index funds, but please start. I've said this many times, please start. I know that it's very difficult to keep a salesman out, and salesmen largely sell to doctors because they know that if they call on doctors 5 times, at least the 5th time he'll get an appointment and he'll buy something, and the doctor, out of guilt that he did not entertain him for 5 times, would buy a bigger policy or a bigger mutual fund or something. So learn to ask these questions. Are you selling this product because it is good? Do I really need the product? Do I understand the product? What is the liquidity in the product? Are there tax benefits at all? Today there are no tax benefits at all. Everything is being withdrawn under the new regime, so you really can't get any tax breaks, so that's out. And if you are a big doctor, in the sense if you are earning 50 lakhs a crore, then that 1.5 lakhs of ATC can please safely be ignored. It doesn't really matter, right? So is the tax break important? Answer is no. What return will I get? How long will it be locked in? If I were to get out of the investment in a jiffy, is it possible? Does it have a lock-in? How long is the lock-in? Lock-in does not worry me, but why is there a lock-in, and how does that lock-in hurt me, right? These are all things which you should know. If you don't understand, or if you see his eyes are shifting or her eyes are shifting, that means they are lying. If you find out that they are lying, just don't meet that person. You cannot meet a person just because they have called you 5 times or 6 times. It's completely unfair on your money, right? Sit with your spouse and learn about money, right? If you have married, like if you are a doctor and you're married to a chartered accountant, make sure that the chartered accountant is managing the money, and don't bring your ego to say, oh, I know how to invest. If you have somebody at home willing to learn and willing to invest, then they are the best persons. Could be your younger brother, could be your wife, could be your wife's sister, could be your own children if they're grown up, right? Any of those things. Sit with them, learn, teach them, make sure that your money is being managed well, because by the time you're 45 or maybe by the time you're 50, your income from non-investment income should be big, right? So making sure that you get that income on an accrual basis, and you pay capital gains and not current income. These are all very important things that only a person who understands investing and taxation can tell you. If you do not reach such a person at all, the chances are you will be paying too much of taxes pretty unnecessarily. The taxes that you pay on your practice income is right, you have to pay. But on your investment income, a lot of this income can be made into capital gains and postponed to a different date, right? So some of those steps may be necessary. Learn and understand taxes. One advantage of asking the salesman all this is you'll sound knowledgeable. Then if you want to sound more knowledgeable, you say, okay, what are the rolling returns of this? What is the standard deviation? How big can the drawdown be? I've seen the past data. In 2015, the fund did well, but in 16 and 17, it didn't do well. Market was not so bad in 16, 17. Were you there in that market at that time? Oh, you got lesser experience. I've been in the markets longer than that. And 2018, you funded well, which is very surprising. But in 2019, it didn't do well at all. And in 2020, post pandemic, the recovery was very slow compared to the market itself. Why did this happen? When you throw all this jargon at him, and this is not so much of jargon, he is going to get unnerved. He is going to bring his boss and say, oh, he is a very knowledgeable doctor. So maybe you're not knowledgeable, maybe you just saw this video, you noted down, made the points and asked, but that's fine. but it's your money, you have to protect it. And also remember, it's only when you are you are a bachelor maybe, or not even when you're a bachelor, are you earning just for yourself. You're earning to support a whole ecosystem. You owe them, right? You owe your parents looking after them, you owe your wife and children to look after them, you owe it to them. So here is one person earning, but he's earning for a big family, right? So make sure everybody is responsible towards it, everybody understands what you have done, create documentation, right? Do all these things. Would I say this only for doctors? No, I would say it for anybody. But most people, when they are in service, they have colleagues to whom they can turn. Doctors struggle and they go to their own friends who have no education on finance, and then they say, "Arey, don't bother about all this, real estate will always do well." I have nothing against buying real estate, but if you have bought real estate, do you even know how to calculate the return that you are getting? Do you know how much of interest has to be included in that while deducting the capital gain, how it should be done? If you don't know any of those things, then you are even guessing on real estate, right? If you do not know how to calculate the return, then why would you invest in real estate? At least if you are investing in real estate, mutual fund, equities, etc., and you know how to calculate the returns and then compare, then you will decide for yourself. I'm not saying either way, but at least learn those basics of how to calculate the returns, how to file your own income tax return, or sit with your chartered accountant and understand what exactly he is doing or she is doing, right? Get all these things organized, get your personal finance organized, make your will, do all that. That's as important as your practice. Thank you.